Welcome to our presentation today on advancing your Agile coaching career. We're going to be talking about what is Agile coaching, Agile coach certification, and working with Eliason. First, let's talk about what is Agile coaching. There are a lot of ways to look at Agile coaching. This is how we look at Agile coaching at Eliason. There are many different parts of Agile coaching. There's the actual coaching itself, and then we want you to think about the Agile knowledge, the Agile experience, and the Agile thinking that goes on, and that's something that you're going to impart to the person that you're coaching. In other words, the coachee. So when you first start working with a client or somebody that you're coaching, they have all of the situational context. What that means is that they understand their business. You're just starting to work with them. Now, even if you're an internal Agile coach, you may be working with a team that you haven't worked with before, and so you don't know everything that they're doing, you don't have all of their background. So it applies to Agile coaches that are internal as well. So as the Agile coach, you have a lot of knowledge on how to coach, you have a lot of Agile knowledge, you have a lot of Agile experience, and you think in an Agile way. That's Agile thinking. Now the coachee has probably got some experience with Agile, they might not, so they're going to have some Agile knowledge, some Agile experience, and some Agile thinking. Your goal is to increase all three of those: Agile knowledge, Agile experience, and Agile thinking. In everything you do, you should be thinking about, are you increasing those? You're not there to solve their Agile problems directly. You may have to, but really when you leave, you want to make sure that they are able to solve their own problems that require Agile knowledge, Agile experience, and Agile thinking. As a coach, there are four main areas that you're going to be working in. You're going to be doing pure coaching, which is partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. You're going to be mentoring, and in mentoring, really you're going to be demonstrating whatever the skill is. So that might be, and we'll get into this in a moment, being a Scrum Master, a product owner, an Agile team member, various other roles as well. So you're going to show what it's like to do that role. You're going to work with them as they perform that role, and then eventually move to more a coaching role with them. You may be teaching. That's introducing new concepts, right? So saying something like doing a course on Scrum, doing a course on Kanban or XP, right? And you're going to give them opportunities to demonstrate that they comprehend. So perhaps some activities, a workshop, something like that. The last resort is really consulting. Consulting is perhaps what many people think of as Agile coaching. Agile consulting, Agile coaching, right? But really consulting is where you're saying, here's my expert opinion on what you should be doing. So you're fixing the problem, not necessarily helping them solve their own problem. So for instance, if everything that you did with your Agile coaching was simply consulting, then when you leave, they may have learned some things by interacting with you and watching you work, but you would not have necessarily focused on that, and it's not going to be as effective. So consulting is great, but it should really be your last resort. Now, within coaching, we have the mentoring, the teaching, and the consulting. And on the mentoring side, we may need to mentor folks on how to be a Scrum Master and how to be a product owner. And part of being a Scrum Master and a product owner is facilitating. So you need to know how to be a good facilitator. And that's something that, if perhaps it's not your strength now, that's something that you can learn. And we can help you with that. So to be a good Agile coach, you really, really need to be able to step in as the Scrum Master and be a Scrum Master. It's useful to also be able to step in as the product owner, but not all Agile coaches have been a product owner or could be a product owner. So in that case, you really need to be able to identify good potential internal product owners and hook them up with other internal folks that can mentor them. So there are a lot of different things that you can do as an Agile coach. Coaching, mentoring, teaching, consulting, and on the teaching side, workshops and training. So if somebody comes to you with a request, what do? They may come to you and say, you know what, we need to learn planning poker. So it sounds like that's teaching, training, maybe a workshop. But you always want to try to, whatever somebody asks you for, you want to try to bring it up to the very top if you can, and that is coaching. So you might say, oh, that's awesome. I'd love to show you that. What is it for? How did that come up? Try to figure out what's behind it. And they might say something like, oh, well, we're having problems estimating. Oh, okay. So are you already doing planning poker? Are you using story points? Well, we are, but it's pretty clear that people don't understand how to do it. So it may be that it's not really a training thing, it's really mentoring or coaching. Try to figure out what the problem really is. So you want to work hard to decide what approach are we going to take in any particular situation. And if you can, move it to coaching, because you want to try to help them figure this out. And next time when a similar problem comes up, for them to think, oh, wait a minute, is there a different way that I can approach this? So we have a concept called Agile coaching ROI. So it's not necessarily return on investment, but it's the same thing. So for the I, we're thinking involvement. Your involvement working with teams, with individuals, is your investment. So you want to try to do, as a coach, you want to try to do as little of the following as possible, directly doing the work. So if you have to be the Scrum Master, you have to be the Scrum Master. If you have to do some project management, then you have to do it. But you want to try to avoid that. If you feel tempted in a situation to say, do this or do that, you want to try to avoid that. Now, it may be that you're in a case where there's limited time and they need you to do that, okay, but you want to try to avoid it. Same thing for advising and then pushing things on the organization or on individuals. What you want to try to maximize are things like coaching, facilitating, mentoring, teaching, and of course you want to do as little consulting as you possibly can. And again, you want to work towards the high end of this list. Focus mostly on coaching, facilitating, mentoring, and if you have to teach something, great. If you have to consult, okay, but let's try to leave consulting to the last resort. So on the coachee side, the person that you're working with, the people that you're working with, you want to encourage as much as possible that you're delegating the work of Agile transformation to them. So if you find some good facilitators, use them to facilitate sessions. If you find somebody that's a potential good Scrum Master and they're interested, try to work towards making them the Scrum Master. You want them coming to you, pulling work from you. You want to try to create self-directed learning opportunities. So an example of self-directed learning would be that they come to you and say, hey, what should we do in this case? We're thinking we could do A, B, or C. And you say, well, in my experience, A and B are awesome Agile ways of going about it. C, maybe not so much. Tell you what, why don't you pick one of those and try it? Hey, it's only one iteration. Both could work. Let's see what works best for you. So to get them used to the idea of experimenting and doing self-directed learning. So you help them set up the environment, help them understand what's Agile and what's maybe not so Agile, but get them to make as many of their own decisions as they possibly can. You're doing all of these things in order to maximize their awareness of what's going on, right? So you want to show your work. Explain why you're doing what you're doing. You want to increase their Agile knowledge. You want to increase their desire to change. You want to increase their Agile experience, their Agile thinking, and their ownership of what needs to be done. So in order to think of maximizing your return on involvement, you want to try to do as little as possible of doing the work yourself, consulting, and maximize. Think of every action. Think, I could do these 3 things. Which one is going to maximize the things in the lower right? Awareness of issues, Agile knowledge, etc. So always, always be thinking in terms of maximizing your Agile coaching ROI. Anything you're doing, think, is this going to maximize my Agile coaching ROI? Think things like, am I mentoring when I should be coaching? Do they really need to see me be the Scrum Master here? Isn't it actually the case that they're ready? If they are. And if they are, have them do it instead of you doing it. Always be looking for ways for the coachee to take ownership of situations. All right, so that's a lot about what it means to be an Agile coach. and we have workshops to get into greater depth, of course, what about Agile Coach certification? So you'd love to be known as a certified Agile Coach, and we have a path for you. There are multiple paths out there. This is just one. This one is part of the IC Agile curriculum. In their curriculum, they have a whole section devoted to Agile coaching, and you can earn individual certifications for team facilitation, for Agile coaching. If you complete the entire path, you can become a certified Agile coaching expert through IC Agile. So what does that look like? Well, there's a number of pieces. The first piece is you need the Agile fundamentals. We teach that through Agile whole team training. But there are a lot of ways to get that. And one thing you can do is sign up if you already have a CSM or something like that. You can sign up through their equivalent prior learning program for a small fee, an application, answer a few questions, and if you qualify, you can get the IC Agile ICP certification. Next step, Agile team facilitation. This is really Agile coaching fundamentals with a focus on facilitation. Our course is Agile Coach Accelerator Workshop. After you've taken that, you'll learn all kinds of great things on how to be an Agile coach. Perhaps many of them you already know. But let's face it, as an Agile coach, you only have so many opportunities while you're working to interact with other coaches, to go to conferences. This brings it all to you. Next step, Certified Pro in Agile Coaching, the ICP ACC. Our course for this is the Agile Coach Transformation Workshop. This will be transformative for you as an Agile coach. Again, some things perhaps you already know, but many things that come from a wide experience in the field with many Agile coaches, many techniques to bring to you. This is Agile coaching in depth. This will really be a game changer for you. Once you've finished all of these steps, then there's a period of time, sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, it depends on the person, where you're applying the knowledge that you've gained in all of these three upfront steps to build your Agile coaching competencies. Next, apply to the IC Agile for Certified Expert in Agile Coaching. Once you have all these steps, you can apply. There's a review, which is IC Agile's live competency assessment with industry-recognized experts. You'll give references, which they'll check to see how you're doing. You'll do a live demonstration of coaching with a real person, and you'll also submit a video that shows your facilitation skills. There's more to it than that. It's not a course, it's a review. It's the final step in the expert certification level, and there is a fee for that as well. Right, so the 3 courses, there's a fee for each of those. Very standard fee structure, and then also for the review, there's a fee for that. You can find out all that information online. What about working with Eliason? If you're an Agile coach and you're looking for opportunities to coach, we have many different categories of Agile coach. Scrum Master is actually a coach. If you're looking to be a Scrum Master or you are a Scrum Master and looking for new opportunities, we can help you with that. Agile Team Coach, what's that? That's a coach that's moved beyond being a Scrum Master per se and can work with multiple teams, but focuses on the team level, not necessarily coaching to the enterprise. Next is the Enterprise Agile Coach. This is somebody that can work at the enterprise level with executives, senior leaders, and can help direct the overall Agile transformation, working with other coaches, including Scrum Masters and Agile Team Coaches. Agile Product Coach. This is a bit of a specialization. So you might be a team coach, an enterprise coach, but you also understand product management and can be and have acted as a product owner in the past. So you're helping on the product side, the business side, mentoring, training, filling in for product owners. Finally, Agile Technical Coach. This is really somebody who is an active coder, somebody that's programming in Java, .NET, or both, and other technologies on a regular basis, working with developers and other professionals to help them understand the technical aspects of Agile, things like TDD, emergent design, BDD, DevOps, those sorts of things. Well, there's a lot of opportunities to work with Eliason, and we'd really love to learn more about you and work with you. I hope this has been a very helpful introduction to advancing your Agile coaching career. Thank you very much.